So, Doctor Who Season 2 is finally over, and the finale is out, hooray! So, the response has been very mixed, and I want to talk about it. This video, I must pre-warn you, might be a little bit disjointed. I have literally just woken up, and my brain is scrambled, but as soon as I woke up I was on social media, seeing what people think, I was curious, and I've got a lot of thoughts. So I want to talk a bit about this finale, and this series as a whole for a little bit. So before I continue, spoiler warning, if you have not seen for whatever reason Doctor Who The Reality War, then please go and do that and then come back. Okay, also, let me just say before we get properly into this, thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. That is crazy. Sorry, there's a timestamp on screen if you want to skip this little ramble and get straight to the Doctor Who review, but let me just speak for a moment. I love making content. My job is as a video editor for, other YouTubers, and the way over this last year I've been able to form a kind of small community making these videos on this channel means a lot to me. It's been so motivating, it's been so fun, and genuinely I've got some things in the works for you guys that are crazy and fun and cool, and I hope you enjoy them. So stay tuned, sci-fi haters, for the 2-part finale is coming soon. The analog horror stuff, if you've been enjoying it, is going to continue soon. I've got a bunch of stuff in the works. So thank you, I just wanted to say thank you. And if you guys have an idea for a bigger 5k subscriber thing, like a Q&A or something, let me know what you want in the comments to the review. Again, I've just woken up, my voice is a bit knackered, but I'm gonna talk anyway. So first of all, what did I think of the episode? I enjoyed it. I had a really good time watching it. I watched it in the cinema and it was a blast. It was electric. The audience was on fire. Everyone was having a great time. So we should probably address the elephant in the room first. As anyone who's watched my videos knows, I loved the 15th Doctor. I love Ncuti's Doctor so much. And of course he regenerated, and it was sad, and I would have loved another season with him, but I can understand why he would leave. But I've noticed something online about him leaving, people saying that the show has been so unfair on him, and he's been, shafted, and he's been treated horribly by the fact that he's going now. I don't know, I feel like it's obvious that it would be his decision. I think people need to remember that. He would have chosen to leave. Of course, you could say that Disney being on the fence about the next season and slowing things down a bit was unfair on him, but that isn't the fault of the people behind Doctor Who. The people making those decisions on production, they're not part of Doctor Who. They're in some little office somewhere, right? And yeah, it's sad he didn't get another season, but him leaving now was probably the best thing for him. He probably chose to himself, and if anyone has put him in that situation, it's the high-ups at Disney. It's not Russell T Davies. It's not the production staff who've been working so hard on this series. So I think people need to keep that in mind. After coming out enjoying this episode quite a lot, going online, my mistake of course, the pure just negativity and insane exaggeration from fans, a lot of fans, really just soured my love for this, and I feel like a lot of people might feel the same. And I think that is going to be, if anything, one of the big downfalls of the show. And I'll talk more about that soon. The Jodie scene. Oh, 13 and 15 have great chemistry. I loved that scene so much. I don't feel it overshadowed anything because of where it was in the episode. I think it held purpose. I think it was a beautiful interaction. And in that moment, who else would the Doctor talk to other than himself? And they've just, I guess, rather than him literally talking to himself, he spoke to another version of himself, and it felt fitting. Especially the moment where she's like, "Are you scared?" And he says, "Terrified." I thought it was beautiful. And everyone had fun. In a cinema, everyone was cheering. I've seen people say that Rani was defeated too easily, and I can admit that I do think that's true. It was pretty clear that Rani was sort of defeated a bit quicker than she should have been, in order to make space for everything else. But I don't know why they didn't just make it like a 90-minute episode or something. But it is what it is. Obviously only one of the Ranis died, one of them got away, which means she may well come back. But yeah, sure, she was defeated a bit too easily. But I don't think that can completely overshadow all of the great stuff in this story. And I think this episode was clearly made by people who love and care about the show, and it's written all over it. Now let's talk about who the Doctor regenerated into. Yeah, so this has been probably the biggest talking point, and I feel like in a way, the discourse around this maybe has overshadowed Ncuti's departure a bit, which is really unfortunate, but it makes sense to an extent. But I feel like the overreaction to Billie Piper has been crazy. I understand not liking it. I understand we want unknowns as the Doctor. I get that. But damn, people are acting like they've just fucking made Andrew Tate the next Doctor. This woman, Billie Piper, hasn't been in a show for like 20 years. And also, judging by the credits, the way it said introducing Billie Piper instead of introducing Billie Piper as the Doctor, the way that during the regeneration, it cut back to the console that has looked into Rose Tyler, I feel like it's pretty clear there's something else going on. I don't think Billie Piper is going to be the Doctor, at least not for a full run. It's probably just a setup for a special, and I think that's fun. I think it's interesting. I saw someone make a tweet, I can't remember who, I'm sorry, but about how the Doctor spoke to 13, and 13 was like, I should tell Yaz I love her, and the Doctor says, you never do, and then turns into a face who also never got to hear that from her Doctor. I think there's potential for a good story here, and even if it's not for a special, even if she actually is the 16th Doctor, I can't lie, I'm a little bit gassed, I'm a little bit up for it, well maybe that's just me. Ruby's final scene, and her in this episode in general, I really enjoyed, and I think rounded off her character story beautifully. That scene when the Doctor and Belinda are folding their coat and passing it to each other until it becomes a little cloth and disappears, and the whole time Ruby is crashing out like trying to explain to them that reality is wrong. I loved it. Wow, gorgeous. Now Belinda's story, a lot of people have been complaining about this, and I do think it's a shame that she was just like in a box for a portion of this. I agree with that. You know, she was this season's companion, and she didn't really have that heavy of a role in defeating the Rani, but to be honest, who did? Who had the only person who had a role in defeating the Rani was Omega. Now people were talking about the shift, like the contradiction between her in episode 1, Belinda in episode 1, not wanting to be like a missus, and then in this finale she's being, you know, she's now a mother, and she's committing to that. And I don't think that's as contradictory to the character as some are saying. Her whole thing has been wanting to get home to her family. She's been desperate to get home to normal life, and it's probably not to the long hours and being underpaid. It's probably because of the family she keeps talking about. This was always her thing. Her family is what's important to her. And the same remains true at the end. She never wanted to be a time traveller or adventurer. She wants an ordinary life with her family, and that is completely in line with her character and what we get. I don't think she's reduced by also being a mother now. It's not like she made her a housewife. In fact, they actively did not. I feel like there is just a really interesting contradiction between people in real life and people on Twitter, on social media. In my cinema screening, everyone was smiling and cheering, and they were emotional at Ncuti saying his final words. It was an electric feeling. It was an amazing experience. And it seems like a lot of people online have said a similar thing, that people in their screening and people in their family and friends have loved this finale and loved this series. But on Twitter, everyone is tearing it apart. Not everyone, a lot of people. I don't know what it is, but it feels like, for some reason, the one thing Doctor Who fans can't seem to do is be a Doctor Who fan and enjoy it. And I'm not saying critiquing is wrong. I'm not saying it's been a perfect era, but I feel like some people are so jaded by the idea of not wanting to enjoy this era, not wanting to enjoy this finale, and not taking it for what it is. If you can look at this series, or even this finale, and say it was all terrible, then I don't think the show is the problem there. Doctor Who is a show that has many eras and many styles and tones, and they're not all for everyone, and that's okay. You may well have your era that made you love the show, and you're nostalgic for it, And the way they did Who was perfect because that was the version of Who you first fell in love with. And it's okay to critique a new era, of course, but to tear it down when it's clearly made by a bunch of people who love and care about it and are just having their go at making a version of it. Yeah, Russell came back, but Russell's not the only one making this show. And I feel like it makes it more difficult for people to just enjoy this era. The amount of people I see expressing love for this era, then people in the comments have to go, "They've ruined the show!" As if people didn't say the exact same thing for Jodie, and then people came to love that. And people didn't say the exact thing for Peter Capaldi, and people came to love that. Even for Matt Smith, some people were like, "Oh, what have they done with it? They've ruined it." This is the pattern, people. You don't have to love it, but give it a chance and let people who enjoy it. And seriously, this doesn't have to be your favourite era. But if you can watch this era and hate it and say there was nothing redeeming about it, then the show is not the problem. Damn. I don't know, maybe I'm crashing out a bit. It just bugged me. Again, there are critiques I understand, like Blind having a small role, like the Rani being defeated too quick. I understand people saying episodes in this series feel a bit rushed pacing wise, but that's just a Doctor issue as a whole for me. But yeah, I want to spread some positivity towards the show. I love this episode, I love this era, I love Ncuti as the Doctor. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of the only people who has genuinely loved every single series of this show. I just love Doctor Who. Give me the whimsical Doctor and the TARDIS and space and Earth and people and drama and monsters and gods. Give me it all, I love it. And I'm not even like a sci-fi fan. Ironically, I'm low-key a sci-fi hater. Like, I'm so bored by lasers and robots and things. But Doctor Who just gets it right for me and I love it. And I love that every era is different and tries new things. I even love the fact that some elements of some eras I don't enjoy as much because I know some people do. And I feel like people are missing the point of what makes this show so incredible and magic. And yeah, maybe it's a bit of nostalgia bait to boost ratings having Billie Piper come back. I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm sat. I'm ready to see what they've got to do. I love it when Doctor Who does crazy things. I love a little bit of nostalgia bait. I love it. Because I love Doctor Who and its history. I love modern Who. And of course, if Russell T Davies is going to come back to Doctor Who, which I think he had to, otherwise the show would have been cancelled. He came back and he wants to dabble a bit with his past era. Oh, God forbid. It's not like he hasn't come up with some new concepts. The Pantheon gods. My generation, it's interesting, it's new. He brought us Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor, phenomenal casting. He brought us the Maestro. He gave us 73 yards. And looks. I don't know guys. Am I insane? Is this just me? Tell me what you think in the comments. How about this? Tell me what you think in the comments, but even if you hated it, tell me one thing that you enjoyed. Just say one thing about this era that you enjoyed, and if you can't do that, consider why. Cypher Haters react to Wishworld, and Cypher Haters react to The Reality War is recorded. They're both coming soon. Lots of videos in the way. I'll probably make a more in-depth Season 2 review video soon. And maybe I'll do something special for 5k subscribers if you have any ideas for that. But yeah, thank you so much for 5k subscribers. Thank you so much to the members who have been doing so much to support me with this channel, and it means so much. Even if you don't agree with everything I say, I appreciate just the comments and the likes and the support and the subscribers and all of that. And the members, I'm sure the members don't love everything I've ever said, but damn, I appreciate the support. And it means so much. And we might be waiting a while before the next episode of Doctor Who, but I'm going to give you guys your fix. Not just review videos, no. I'm going to make some of the best Doctor Who fan content, fan stories you've ever bloody seen. I've got the analog horror series. I've got an audio drama. A real, fully produced, fully casted, fan-made Doctor Who audio drama. It's written, it's recorded. I've just got to do all the post-processing now. And more. I've got some other things I'm not going to tease because I think they're really good, unique ideas that I've not seen done before. So I'm not going to spoil them. But I've got some cool stuff on the way. Also, one thing I will say is I've got like a documentary in the works, like an actual Doctor Who documentary. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, stay tuned and thank you. And even if you didn't like this era or this episode, tell me your thoughts below and tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. But can we all agree in this community? Let's just spread a little bit more positivity, please. The people who produce this show and love this show and are working so hard are real people with real feelings and are on social media. Have a bit of respect. That's not to everyone, that's just to a small minority, a loud minority. Again, thanks again to the members. You'll see the names on the screen right now. More exclusive members content coming soon as well. Thank you guys so much for the last however long I've been making these videos. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for 5k subscribers, and I'm having a blast. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye. Mwah.